Welcome to the Sun Today for the 28th of January 2022. Here is the Sunspot status report that I posted to Twitter this morning. We have a fairly active sun with at least one large growing region, that's active region 2936. More on that later. Well, let's take a detailed look at each active region in turn. We'll start with the numbered regions. And the oldest one of those is 2934. That's a large alpha spot in the southwest with a few short-lived satellite spots. You can see one just to the southwest of the main spot. Our next oldest region is active region 2835. This is just a group of small scattered spots up in the northwest near the limb. The king of the regions at the moment is active region 2936 up here in the northeast. It has a huge number of spots, some large penumbra, and lots of dynamic motion. And let's take a look at a movie of the motion of the spots. Remember, spot motion is usually a sign that we're going to start getting flares as the magnetic fields from the spots get twisted up and break. Okay, I'm going to show you a 2-day movie from the SDO HMI instrument. It will be in visible light, so you will see the sunspots. But look how the sunspots move and how different parts of the region move differently. The secret to flares is how these tangled mass of magnetic fields sort themselves out, how they store energy and release that energy. So let's take a look at the magnetogram and see what's happening at that level in the solar atmosphere. This is also from the HMI instrument. The next region we're going to take a look at is active region 2937, which is a group of scattered small spots. A very similar region is active region 2938, but this is in the northeast quadrant of the sun. As you can see, it's just a lot of small spots scattered over an area, and that bright area around it is what we call plage, which is often associated with magnetic fields. The official sunspot number has been rising over the last few days and has reached a level of about 80. This is much higher than it was exactly one rotation ago, and so there's been significant growth on this side of the sun. Some people like to track the number of spotless days on the sun. It's been 48 days since we had a spotless sun. The X-ray flux from the sun, a measure of how active the corona is being, has been sitting round about mid-B level for the last 3 days. However, the last 24 hours, we've had a large number of mid-level C flares, which is probably coming from that large region in the northeast. So let's take a look at the flares. For that, we're going to go to the SDO AIA instrument and use the 94 angstrom channel, and we'll give it 2 repeats. This channel images plasma at about 6 million degrees, so this is hot flare plasma. Next, we'll take a look at the Sunspot movie with the SDO HMI instrument, but this time we're going to focus on the full disk rather than individual spots. We can take a look at the corona using the SDO AIA instrument 171 angstrom movie. That gives you temperatures at about 600,000 degrees Kelvin. So this is fairly hot plasma, but for the corona, it's the cooler of the loops. So you see more loops in this particular regime. Last, but by no means least, we'll take a look at the Soho LASCO instrument, a coronagraph called that looks at the inner corona with high resolution, and you can see coronal mass ejections leaping off of the sun with it. GEOSPACE has been stubbornly quiet for the last few days and remains so. The solar wind speed is about 400 kilometers per second, which is sort of average to low. The density is about 10 per cubic centimeter, and the temperature is about 100,000 degrees Kelvin. So what conclusions can we draw from all of this? The sunspot number is high for this time in the cycle, and is likely to get higher over the next few months. We've only had a few low-level C flares in the last 3 days, but I'm hopeful that we might get larger events soon. We've had several coronal mass ejections, but none of them are in a position that they will likely threaten the Earth. So until next time, stay safe and goodbye.